Here is a wonderful collection of rose hips which I picked from the area which I live. And I'm going to make them into a rosehip oil, which is wonderful for the skin. If you're lucky enough to find lots and lots of rose hips, you might want to enlist some helpers to take off the stalks and stems so that you can get your rose hip all ready in the mortar. Rosehip oil is very effective for the treatment of acne for two reasons. It's naturally 50% of lineolic fatty acid, and it also has something called tretinoin, which enables the vitamin A conversion into retinol, which is actually the single most effective ingredient in treating acne. So once you've mashed up your rosehip in the mortar and pestle, you can get a little cup to measure it out. For every 1 cup of rosehip, you'll need 2 cups of your carrier oil, and you can choose a carrier oil that's organic and not processed. I like to use sweet almond oil, but sometimes I have used jojoba oil as well. It's going to go in the oven at a very low heat of 100 degrees Fahrenheit. So use an oven-proof casserole and put your 1 cup of rosehip, then you'll need 2 cups of your carrier oil, and then you'll put that in the oven for 8 hours. I've taken my rose hips out of the oven. They've been in the oven for 8 hours on a very low heat, 100 degrees, and now I'm ready to strain them. So what I've got here to strain is just some muslin cloth, which I find preferable to use, and I've just got this as well, so that I can catch all of the juice out of the rose hips. So I just put it over a bowl, and then I just tip my rosehip oil mixture in to the cloth. Then, just to make sure I get all the oil out, I'm going to use the cloth and squeeze the oil out from the rose hips. The rose hips are really mushy now, so not so difficult to squeeze all the juice out of it. And most of all of the lovely nutrients have already seeped into the oil mixture from the rose hips from its slow heating. There we are. Now in here I've got my rosehip oil. So the next thing to do is to decide which oils, essential oils, you want to infuse in your rosehip oil to make sure it smells nice, but also to provide further healing benefit. I'll pour the oil into a dark amber glass bottle. That will help it to keep for longer. The other thing that will help it to keep for longer is adding some vitamin E oil, which is a natural preservative. A couple of drops will do in a 100 ml bottle. Now there's to choose what scent and what other healing properties you want to add to your rosehip oil using essential oils. I've chosen lavender for mine. Lavender because it's antiseptic and antibacterial, and also for its relaxing properties. And vetiver because of its soothing and grounding capabilities. And geranium rose because it smells beautifully of roses, and also because it's anti-inflammatory. And so I will add the lavender in 10 drops, and the vetiver. The vetiver is dark and thick. It comes out very slowly, and I'll add 6 drops of that. You can also vary this to your own tastes. And the geranium rose I'm going to add the most of because I want to use this oil neat on my skin for blemishes and things like that, and I like the smell of the rose. And I feel that what I need most is the anti-inflammatory properties mixed with already the goodness of the rosehip oil. So I'm going to add 20 drops of that into my 100 ml of rosehip oil. And so now that I've added my essential oils and into my rosehip oil, the only thing left to do is just to put a label on it. Here's one I've already put a label on, just simply saying what's in it. And there you have it, your rosehip oil, which you can now put onto your skin very neat. Just dab some on your finger or a cotton cloth and just put it on the different spots in your skin. I can also make a rosehip body butter or a rosehip lotion using my rosehip oil right here as well. Enjoy!